Hi.
Hi, Ms. Anu. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
How's
Very
the-
excited
Yeah,
to
I
be
am
on the
really-
hot seat.
I'm really excited to have you here. How is the workshop going?
The workshop is going really well because I am coming from a science background and I'm really excited to see the range with which we can go to in the school with the UN sustainability goals, how we can integrate this into our lesson plans and what changes can we bring about and whether we can do something to reduce whether it's the carbon footprint or whether we can be self-sustaining. So this is very exciting for me.
Back to your science background, could you introduce yourself to everyone watching?
Okay, so I've done my PhD from the University of Leeds in a very niche field called as epigenetics, and I have worked as a research scientist for about 15 years. I have been in the education only for 3 years, and it's a very exciting space because I feel like it's been a flip thing. I've been there, and then now I'm coming backwards, and I'm trying to see how I can integrate all of those experiences and mold the children to be very critical in terms of their thinking or in terms of how to execute experiments, what they are observing. So I'm trying to inculcate that right from grade 1 or grade 3 in my case. So I think it's been a very beautiful journey that I've been able to see an array of things and then come back into the education sector.
Do your children know? I mean, your students, do they know you're a scientist?
No, not
Why don't
really.
you tell them? I think they'd love it.
I haven't done that. Now that you've said, maybe we should try
you
it.
could really inspire them to be scientists themselves.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I think you would have spoken to the other facilitators. We did an entire week of being a scientist theme, which was the beginning to all the science chapters. So we discussed about how children are able to observe things and how they're able to plan their experiments, to collection of data, to collaborate, and how to explain whatever their findings have been to the rest of the audience. So it's a very important aspect that we are doing it right from the younger stage. And I think I'm sure you're going to be showing a few of the work which my class has done in terms of how they're even in grade 3 they are able to use graphs and line charts and everything.
There it is.
Oh, thank you. So we had a theme about birds over here. And what we did was we took a transdisciplinary approach as it is in Chaman Bhartiya. So we've integrated it even with the art. And this is what the kids have created, an origami bird. So apart from that, you can see on top, we have the other end of the spectrum where they've been little scientists. So I've guided them to a website called as ebird.com. And the students had to pick the top 5 birds sighted in Kagdaspura Lake, which is very local in Bangalore. They had to pick out those numbers, create a graph, and submit it. So you can see from this activity how we can use transdisciplinary approach. And also you can observe how children, even at level of grade 3, are able to create scientific graphs at this stage itself.
No, it's incredible. It really is. I like that, we're not shying away from these things for even if they're children. You've decided that they can learn graphs, they can learn how to rank things. I think that's very cool.
Yeah, so this is the other one which I told you. The first week we had a theme about what they understood as being a scientist was. And I explained to the children using photographs that right when you're born itself, you're a scientist because you do observe your surroundings. When you're taking baby steps to walk, you are observing your siblings or your parents walk all around you. So the child, as soon as it's born itself, is behaving like a scientist, observing and learning things. A toddler might touch something hot and realize through experiment that this is hot and I shouldn't be touching it. So you see, even when the child is, a toddler is able to do these experiments on his own, and that's exactly what I'm trying to say, that even grade 3 students can be scientists, they can make observations, they can explain what is happening in their surroundings. And this is one of the activity they did where they've underlined can as to what a scientist does actually. So there were a couple of statements which scientists normally do in their day-to-day activity, and right at the grade 1 or grade 3 level, they are able to follow those steps.
Very cool. All right, let's see these.
On the right, you've got a line graph, which is the kind of asynchronous activity which we are doing in our school. So we did an entire lesson of what a line graph was. And from this activity, you can see that the children are able to read a graph. They're fluent with it and they're able to pick out the right parameters and put it under. While they're doing this, I'm also making them to understand that they have to write the units, which is very, very important. So they're able to learn, decipher how a line graph looks and to extract information and put it there. The one on the left side, what you have is a different activities from a social studies thing, where we learned about the different states in India. So each student was given off a state or a region, in this case Goa, and they had to create a travel brochure based on that. And a lot of information was gathered and they themselves shared it in the class. Some students moderated the entire event. So they welcomed the speakers to, making sure that they themselves asked questions, they gave feedback. So I was just a spectator and I took a back seat and the students have themselves moderated the entire event, just like what you're doing here. They did that in the classroom.
Cool. They had their own little expo.
Yes, they did.
That's great. Okay, these, I really want to know this. What, the one on the left, right.
So we had a theme of about reusing and recycling with whatever materials was at home and upscaling them to look beautiful or do some craft with it. So the theme which was given to the students was egg cartons. And you can see with these two examples how varied it was. So one of them chose to make this mermaid kind of hanging unit, and the other child has created a snowman with that. So the range of creativity, which what Chaman, I think Bhartiya stands for, could be seen through activities like this. On the left side, I think we've used a Venn diagram to teach children the concept of sorting. There's one yellow flower which is not in the right place in this picture, but that was pointed in the feedback. But otherwise, the children are able to understand and learn about Venn diagrams even as little as grade 3.
That's amazing.
This activity was where we read a book called Edward the Emu. This was done in the first week of the school, where the children read the book and understood that they need to be happy in the shoes that they were, to accept themselves. And the event was to read the book and illustrate the cover page, as well as to write the synopsis. So this student of mine, her name is Abigail. She's done the illustration as well as written the synopsis of the story. And she's written as to how each one of us is special and we need to be happy with whoever we are. The one on the right is done by a student called Manasvi, and this is our teaching number place value. So we don't teach math only through numbers, we do it through activities like this, where each of them has got a house. As you can see, they have created the thousands house, the millions house, and they are learning where to place the comma and how to read the numbers using an activity like this.
This all looks so great. And I just want to say thank you so much for your time. I don't know how much time we've taken, but it's really nice that you incorporate so many activities and so much, other media to teach, because it's so important, I think, when we teach kids now. We use much more than just the standard, textbook, notebook, blackboard. I think it's really cool how you're incorporating so much like creativity in your classroom. Thank you so much for.
Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you for that, and you're doing an absolutely brilliant job at Chaman Bhartiya. Thank you.
Thank you.